said it was clearly manufactured in a lab. There were a lot of deaths associated with the testing of it. She and other medical doctors and brain surgeons like Dr. Blaylock said it's going to cause Guillain-Barré. It's going to cause epilepsy. It's going to cause narcolepsy, because they knew what had happened in the past with the adjuvants causing an autoimmune response in the body, not just in the brain, but in the pancreas and other areas. Now, it's all been confirmed in triplicate. Here's the London Telegraph. Flu shot suspended. Caused a 10-fold increase in violent seizures, convulsions. Headline, flu jab linked to fits in under fives. Shot suspended. I've had the British Medical Journal editor on saying it was all a giant payoff operation and deadly. I've had Wolfgang Wodarg, the head of the EU Health Commission, a doctor, saying they conclusively found it was deadly and a fraud. Now they're back wanting to add it to the regular seasonal flu shot. And I wanted to get Dr. Sherri Tenpenny on to warn ahead of this year, because they're all over the news. Here it is. Medical groups urge flu shots for pregnant women, when their own inserts say pregnant women shouldn't take it because of all sorts of documented histories of causing miscarriages, brain damage, deformity, because it causes an autoimmune response and the woman miscarries. Dr. Sherri Tenpenny of drtenpenny.com joins us. I salute your work, your bold courage last year. You have been vindicated in triplicate with a royal flush, and we salute your courage, Dr. Tenpenny.
Thank you, Alex, and good afternoon. How are you?
It's good to have you here, but we had record numbers of people refuse the flu shot last year.
Yep.
So we had record numbers not getting the flu, as the evidence shows it actually causes it, but they're back again.
Yeah, they're back again this year in a really big way, and they're pushing it bigger than ever. In fact, there are at least 50 healthcare systems across the country right now that have documented that they are now requiring flu shots in exchange for employment. And there are at least 50 different hospital systems across the country that have adapted that, even though I've proven unequivocally in all the materials that you and I have talked about, and the new DVD that I'm putting out called Flu and Flu Vaccines, what's coming in that needle, all of those things have proven to be ineffective, and yet they are now saying that you have to get a flu shot in order to have a job.
And they always said, oh, we're not going to try to force you to take it, but they tried to make medical workers, police, take the smallpox 8 years ago. Yep. Last year they tried to make medical workers take it outside of law, and now they're doing it covertly, saying you want a job, you got to take it.
That's right. And it's getting more. We hear about this every day. I probably get several hundred emails a week about people in healthcare systems wanting to know what they can do to refuse this. Back in July, I started posting on my Facebook fan page every day saying, this is coming, you guys need to get organized, you need to get all of the people who are on the same side as you about not getting the flu shot, getting the information out to your HR directors and your hospital administrators that this doesn't work. So I've been trying to tell people since July that this was coming. Well, now that the flu shots are here, and it's soon to be October, and they're saying you have to either show us a medical exemption written on the letterhead of your doctor, and have your doctor's signature on it, or have some really good reason for why you shouldn't take this flu shot. And some hospitals are allowing a religious exemption, but not a philosophical exemption. I think it's going to be really hard for a lot of people to avoid this vaccine this fall.
And last year, we saw incredible medical problems for many of the medical workers that did take it.
Yes, we did. We saw a lot of people, like you already mentioned in your brief there, about how many pregnant women that ended up having miscarriages. I've heard that the number was more than 3,500 that were actually reported that we know about, that people that had normal developing fetuses, they went in and had a normal ultrasound that afternoon, got a flu shot, which was the H1N1 vaccine, and within days they had a dead baby living in their belly that had to go through a miscarriage. And what's really interesting is the fact that they have now shown that if you had swine flu last year, if you had total recovery from it, that 90% of patients have what conventional medicine would call a protective antibody, which would be enough to keep you from getting the flu again this year if you've been re-exposed. I mean, that's been reported and documented in the medical literature. And even with that, they have taken the H1N1 virus, they have incorporated it into the regular seasonal flu shot, and they're saying we need to vaccinate you again just because you may not have had it last year and you may not be exposed.
So we've got big pharma companies setting the precedent worldwide to forcibly inject Americans, and this isn't even really in the news. It's all being done by stealth because they know how unpopular and illegal this is. They want to isolate people and do it individually to them. Stay with us, Dr. Sherri Tenpenny.
This may surprise you. Type 2 diabetes has reached epidemic proportions among both adults and children. You or someone you know may have it. Managing type 2 diabetes in conventional ways is a never-ending task. But this good news may also surprise you. A recent UCLA study proved that type 2 diabetes can be reversed in only 21 days. Purium Health Products recently developed a product that mimics the healthy diet used in that UCLA study. Called Scoop of Greens, an easy, great-tasting, affordable way to give your body the nutritional tools to help it overcome type 2 diabetes. Scoop of Greens has been awarded the Diabetes Resource Center seal of approval, so you know it's safe. See Scoop of Greens and other world-class whole living foods and nutraceuticals at diabetichealthsolution.com. To order, call 888-747-6733. That's 888-747-6733. Mention GCN for a healthy discount and ask about the buy 3 get 1 free special. Start keeping type 2 diabetes in check at diabetichealthsolution.com.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, homegain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to homegain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to homegain.com. Use their home sale maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's homegain.com. HOMEGAIN.com. Check them out today.
If you're a regular listener of this station, then disaster survival is vitally important to you and your family. Long-term food storage, water filtration, emergency food preparation, and quality survival products are not just talk topics, but a way of life. We strongly believe in being prepared for any emergency. We are foodandwaterstore.com, owned and operated by people who are into emergency preparedness. And because we are preppers like you, we own and use the products we offer. You'll find quality name brand proven products like Global Sun Ovens, Wonder Mill Flour Mills, Mountain House Foods, Seychelles and Berkey water filters, and many more, plus videos and articles at foodandwaterstore.com. 90% of our customers are return customers because of our low prices and excellent customer service. We still believe the customer is always right. Discover what your family needs to weather any storm at foodandwaterstore.com or call 1-877-773-7123. Foodandwaterstore.com, helping you prepare for the storms of life.
You've seen our SinoFresh banner on the GCN website, yet your sinusitis is still a problem. Are you waiting for your sinusitis to go away by itself? Are you waiting for a SinoFresh discount? Okay, here it comes. But first, the facts. 67 other products merely treat symptoms and not the cause of sinus problems. And 37 million Americans suffer from sinus distress just like you. But now many are finding relief with the only patent-protected homeopathic nasal product that antiseptically eliminates the known causes of sinusitis. SinoFresh. Now, here's your limited time discount offer to use SinoFresh. Call 888-906-3636 right now for $2 off per bottle when you mention GCN. That's it. Just call 888-906-3636 and mention GCN for a $2 discount. But hurry, this offer is only for the first 1,000 customers. Call 888-906-3636. 888-906-3636. Call right now for $2 off per bottle. Mention GCN. Buy SinoFresh.com. It works.
I cannot stress to you the magnitude of this, the importance. In this stack of news that I'm going to be going over with Dr. Sherri Tenpenny, we have the Rockefeller Foundation's own documents where they created vaccines added to tetanus to sterilize women. That they want to use vaccines covertly to do this. There is no doubt that's what's going on. Now, from my medical research, and I want the doctor to correct me, but globally the average is about 1/10 of already approved drugs, adverse reactions get reported. When it's something new, it's more like 2%. So if she's saying over 3,000 women had miscarriages, and that was in the U.S., the news was everywhere, and this is now admitted, that it causes it, then what are the real numbers? Is it more like 30,000? Dr. Tenpenny, am I correct that about 1/10 get reported?
That's been the standard for years, Alex, that they've talked about that less than 10% of adverse events, whether it's from a shot or whether it's from a medication, actually get reported to the government. So those numbers can be astronomical. So you're absolutely correct. So if less than 10% were reported, and let's say that 3,500 was 10%, that means that 35,000 people actually had miscarriages and lost children because of this flu shot that has been proven to not work in all 3 age populations.
I know a bunch of women who had miscarriages after they took it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm in restaurants and hear women going, yeah, 2 days after I lost the baby. You think it was the shot? I mean, it's just everywhere.
You know, what's really interesting, Alex, is that I've pulled out a lot of material from the CDC. As you know, that's where my research all comes from either from pouring through the CDC's documents or from pouring through the medical literature and pulling out things that don't make the mainstream news. And that each year that people they test people for influenza. So if you've got the flu or flu-like symptoms and you go to the doctor, there are testing stations all across the country that will take a nasal swab and a throat swab and send that to the CDC and say, what is causing this illness? More than 86% of the time, it's being caused by something other than influenza, which means that from my information of all the numbers that I've pulled out, in any given flu season, since 1999, all the way so for the last 10, 11 years, the circulating the amount of influenza out there, the virus that actually causes the flu, only causes the flu 13% of the time. So that means that if you get a flu shot, and if it worked at all, by their numbers, it means that it would only keep you from getting sick 13% of the time. So we've got this roaring, raging machine that's trying to push these vaccines, the flu shot, on everybody, whether it's on just the general, everybody. Now we're starting, always before, we had different flu shots. There's 8 different flu shots that are on the market now. 8 different flu shots. Each of them have different ingredients, and there'll be different manufacturers. And I can assure you that the doctors that are giving these flu shots, the doctors and the pediatricians and the public health nurses, have not gone through those package inserts and have not looked at all the different ingredients per each one of the flu shots. But now this year, for the first time ever, the CDC is saying that every person in the United States, starting at 6 months of age and every year for the rest of their lives, should be given a flu shot. And they also say that the viruses that are in the flu shot have to be a match to the ones that are out there in the circulation to develop an antibody to protect you from getting sick. But if the vast majority of flu-like illness that happens in the winter only happens by 13% of the viruses, why are we spending billions of dollars putting lives at risk, putting babies at risk, putting children at risk for something that doesn't work, and if it does work, it only works 13% of the time?
Well, it's simple. The system of eugenicists want to set the precedent to put in your body what they want, when they want. But what about all the research and evidence and studies I've seen that the flu shot is causing the flu-like symptoms? Then you have the anecdotal, like my mother never got the flu. She took the flu shot probably 15 years ago for a triathlon she was about to run. Because they recommended it, and she was deathly ill for like a month, and then she never took it again. And then we see record numbers not taking the flu shot last year because they saw through the hoax, and so we had a record low flu season. So, there's a lot of evidence there that the flu shot's causing it.
Well, the flu shot has, as part of its package insert, it talks about the fact that the side effects can be achiness, runny nose, watery eyes, fever, chills, headache. Now, what does that sound like? The side effects are exactly the same thing as the flu. And when you look at what's in all of these flu shots, and the main things that I think are very important is that there are measurable amounts, microgram amounts of formaldehyde. So there's measurable amounts of formaldehyde in these flu shots. There's gelatin in some of the flu shots, and the gelatin is known to cross-react and cause food allergies. The gelatin has been shown in several of the vaccines, like gelatin is also in the chickenpox vaccine and in the shingles vaccine and in some of the flu shots to cause severe allergic reactions. And then one of the biggest things that I think that...
Stay there. We got to go to break. Long segment coming up. Let's continue with what's in these vaccines and what we know it caused last year. I mean, it's on record. Massive brain damage, all sorts of different neurological disorders, miscarriages, you name it.
We're on the march. The empire's on the